It's time for a continuation of the culling of the collection. Yes, welcome back to the channel and to a new episode of this culling series that I bring you every 2 weeks at this time on this day. Let's get into it. So yes, hello everyone, and yeah, every 2 weeks, at this time of day, on this day, I'll bring you an episode of this where I go through my Blu-rays and decide what films I don't need in the collection anymore. We're going to do one of the shelves behind me, drop down one. Now thus far, out of the 1, 2, 3, 5 shelves that I have done, I believe I've done 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yes. I have this stack here, as you can see. See these two? This is what I have culled so far. Now, yeah, I've not gotten rid of anything as such yet. Now, there's been a lot of sort of what shall I do with them kind of a thing. I don't, I was unsure of what to do with them. Now, obviously, some of them might be out of print. I don't know. Very unlikely. Some of them, I might be able to sell to CEX or whatever and get a small amount of money back to go into my back into the collection. Now, me doing this isn't me stopping collecting. It's just about getting rid of that stuff that doesn't really need to be there. I know we could say, well, preserve it, preserve it. It's not down to one person to preserve absolutely everything. That is not on me. That burden isn't on me. I'm just going to preserve that stuff that I really want. But obviously, if there are some out of print ones or anything like that, I'll decide what to do with them separately. Now, this culling consists of films that I have as doubles, where I've picked up a box set maybe, or I've got a steelbook for it, or a 4K upgrade, or something like that. And then there's a lot of stuff that I have picked up along the way from CEX, for pennies, from Poundland, stuff that I've just picked up because it was cheap and give it a watch. And then I thought, this ain't no good for me. So it's that kind of stuff. So yes, we're going to drop down and take a look. Now, what I will ultimately do with the stuff that is left over at the end of this series, when I get through all the Blu-rays, I'm not doing 4Ks or steelbooks or anything like that. This is just literally standard Blu-ray releases. What I'm going to be doing at the end is I will make a list. I will do a video where I show everything that is going, and if anyone wants the stuff or any of it, you can lay claim to it, so to speak, and all I ask for from that is the postage costs. Because let's be fair, if 100 people say I want this film, want this film, want this film, want this film, that's probably about 150 quid or more, nearly 200 quid in postage. So yeah, all I'd ask for is the postage cost. That's it. So, but that will be coming at the end, and I will make that announcement closer to the time. But here we'll go through the shelf and we'll see what stuff I don't want. So let's get into it. Okay, so for this episode, I am having to get down here cozy on the floor, and we can take a look at what films we have. So, like I said, we're doing this shelf here. That's what we're going through. We're going to take a look one by one at those titles, and yeah, let's do it. Let's get into it. So there's a fair bit here actually. So first up, we have the film The Campaign, starring Will Smith and Zach Galifianakis. Not one that I need to keep in the collection. That one can go. And then we have a 3D version of Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Now, I do have a selection of children's films, and they're always good for when the grandchildren come over, so that one will stay for that purpose. From the premium collection, HMV, and it comes with art cards, I believe. Yes, it does. And it is Christopher Lambert in Greystoke, The Legend of Tarzan. Most definitely a keeper. Then we have Arnie in Commando, director's cut. Obviously, again, a film that will be kept in the collection. Okay, what do we have here? We have Sacha Baron Cohen in Sacha Baron Bowen. What's his surname? Sacha Bowen. Why am I saying Bowen? What's his name? Alexa, who starred in The Dictator? Sacha Baron Cohen. What was I saying about his name? Anyway, I quite like his stuff. I find it quite amusing, so I'll keep that as well. Then we have Dumb and Dumber 2. I know Dumb and Dumber's on one of these shelves. There it is, there. So that will be kept, but I'm going to put it with Dumb and Dumber 1. 2 weren't as good, but there we go. I've only got rid of one at the moment. Usually I end up with about 14 or something like that. 13, 14, dozen or so films per shelf I tend to get rid of. Now, so I've been told, oh, you're not harsh enough. You're not harsh enough to be culling your collection. It's my collection. I'll cull it how I will. I'll get rid of the ones that I want to get rid of and not the ones I don't. So, yeah, there you go. Then we have Daddy's Home. Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell. And I enjoyed the film. I thought it was a lot of fun. Then we have Daddy's Home 2. Not quite as good, but I still didn't mind them. I like Will Ferrell. I like Mark Wahlberg. So, you know, for me, they work. Okay, I'm getting rid of that other Will Ferrell film, Campaign, because it doesn't really work for me. And then we have Robert Downey Jr. in Due Date, with, again, Zach Galifianakis, and a film that I really need to re-watch and make a judgment call on that one. Adam Sandler in Click. Now, I actually really enjoyed this film. I like this. Kate Beckinsale was in this as well, and Christopher Walken. And this film worked for me. I had a lot of fun with it. I can't deny it. It's probably one of my favourite Sandler films. So again, that's not going anywhere. And then we have Ryan Reynolds and Jason Bateman in The Change Up. We don't get these sort of comedies anymore. These sort of more adult-orientated comedies. The world doesn't really allow them now, does it? Because of the offence. So, you know, I always like revisiting comedies from a different era where stuff was more acceptable and people could take a little bit of offence, whereas now they can't. And I shouldn't really be keeping this one, but Chips, the movie, Dax Shepard and Michael Penner. I watched it once, and I thought it was okay. Then we have Dwayne Johnson and Carl Urban in Doom, the film based upon the game of the same name, and I don't really think I need to keep that. It's not really a film I would revisit often. 5-movie Tom Cruise collection. Now let's take a look at this one, because I have Top Gun in 4K. I have War of the Worlds in 4K. I have Mission Impossible in Blu-ray. I have Jack Reacher individually in Blu-ray. The only movie here that I don't have elsewhere is Days of Thunder. So, am I going to keep that for one movie, Days of Thunder? I'd likely say no. You know, I mean, I could take Days of Thunder, the disc out, and put it in with one of his other films and get rid of it as a 4-film collection if someone ended up wanting it, or I could see how much the trade-in is for it and whether it's worth me trading it in, and then if I enjoy Days of Thunder, I've got to watch it to see if I enjoy Days of Thunder and replace it with an individual Days of Thunder. But yeah, so I'm going to put that in the to get rid of pile, believe it or not. Because like I said, I've got the films all elsewhere. Central Intelligence, Kevin Hart and Dwayne Johnson. Another Dwayne Johnson one that I think I enjoyed it, but is it any good? Comedies are easy to watch. I think I should maybe that one, because I should watch it again and make the decision otherwise. I'm not doing very well today. Eden Lake I picked up because people were saying watch it, you know, after my watch of I Spit on Your Grave. So I haven't watched it yet, so I should really give that one a go. So now let's work along the shelf here. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory with Johnny Depp. I think that one can go because I really like the Gene Wilder film and I'd much rather watch that than this. I really like Wonka with Timothée Chalamet in it, and I'd rather watch that one than this. So with those two, I really don't think I'd be watching this version of Wonka again. So I get rid of that. Then we have Children of Men. That's a decent film. I can't deny that that's not a good film. So that one I will keep. We have Liam Neeson in Cold Pursuit. Didn't really work for me, so I'm going to say goodbye to that. Classic films now from a classic era. The Cannonball Run 1 and 2. Burt Reynolds. You know, these are a lot of fun. Same as the Smokey and the Bandits. You know, they hark back to a time of me watching film before, so I'll keep that. I'll keep. Then we have Liam Neeson in the Commuter, and this has got Julianne Moore in it, if I recall. Oh no, Vera Farmiga, Patrick Wilson, and Sam Neill. Why did I think Julianne Moore? I don't know, but anyway, I'll give that one another go. I'm not sure on it. I'm not sure. Then we have Chicago. I've always enjoyed this film. I've always enjoyed it. I will watch it. This one can go. The Doorman with Ruby Rose. Ruby Rose. We have Contagion, which had a revival during the contagion that we had, the lockdown period for COVID. I think there's a 4K release. As I'm sat here filming this, it's not out yet, but it's coming. I think it'll be out by the time this airs. I don't feel the need to upgrade the film, but it's a decent film and I will keep it. Then we have The Counsellor, and I need to watch it. So that's staying until such time that I've watched it. Here's a Julianne Moore film, saying that, and it's got Ryan Gosling in it, Emma Stone, Marissa Tomei, Kevin Bacon, Steve Carell. So with a lineup and a cast like that, and I quite enjoyed the film, I'm going to keep it. It was a good film. I like Steve Carell, so I'm not gonna say no to that. Crimson Peak, and again a decent film. It's from Arrow. It's not the version with a booklet or anything, but it's got a reversible sleeve. But it was a decent film. I was late to it, but I enjoyed it. Kevin Bacon, from the director of Saw, in Death Wish. Death Wish. What am I saying? Death Sentence. Death Wish. I jumped ahead there, didn't I? Punisher-esque kind of a movie. 18 rated. Kevin Bacon's always pretty good, so that's a decent one. Now Vince Vaughn, I like Vince Vaughn. I don't mind him at all, but The Delivery Man, I don't need to. I won't rewatch that again. But I will this one. The Dog's Purpose. Dog's Purpose. Dennis Quaid in this. good family friendly film. Yeah. And then we have David Lynch film, Anthony Hopkins, John Hurt and Bancroft in The Elephant Man. Obviously, disc has fallen out. How does that disc even stay in there? I don't know. But anyway, I'm not going to get rid of The Elephant Man. That can stay. But what we can get rid of, though, is Edge of Darkness with Mel Gibson. I'm not going to rewatch that. I mean, I even bought it, but I'd seen it years ago, and I don't think I'll get round to watching that. And Channing Tatum, Jamie Bell in Eagle. Again, a film that I can't see myself ever rewatching. And remember, I might be putting away films that... This isn't about really how good a film is. So you might say, well, that film's excellent. That's an excellent film. Okay, it might be, but if I don't feel I'm going to rewatch it, and I'd rewatch something that's a lesser film, but it's got more watchability to me, then that stays, that goes. End of story. Kurt Russell as Elvis in John Carpenter's Elvis film. Keeper. Elysium, Matt Damon, Jodie Foster from the director of District 9, Neil Blomkamp, and he's got a great visual style. He really does. There's something about his films that, and the effects they used in them, this sort of thing, that I just really like looking at. I do. District 9 had it, Elysium had it, Chappie had it. So, you know, I quite enjoy that film. And I haven't got a steelbook for it or anything like that. So, there we go. Sean Connery, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Entrapment. Catherine Zeta-Jones going under the lasers. I wonder if that was really her or if they got a double to do that. I don't know. I even got my old DVD in there, kicking around in the box. I'll keep that. Brings back memories of a good time. So then we have the two Equalizer films. Equalizer and Equalizer 2 from Antoine Fuqua, starring Denzel Washington. A race change of a character that I liked. I didn't mind at all. I thought, it's Denzel Washington. Now, the first one is great. The second one is very much a patchwork of a film for me. But the third one is a good film. I enjoyed the third one. It made my top 10 of 2023. And I have it on a steelbook edition. So that's over there, behind the camera where my steelbooks are. So I'll keep the Equalizers. I gave them a rewatch just before the third one came out. And then we have Escape from New York. Now I have this on 4K, so I don't need to keep that one. And then I have Escape from LA. I have this on 4K as well, but I really like the cover art. I like the colours, and I shouldn't really keep it because I'm getting rid of the other one, and I should get rid of this one as well. And again, the old DVD copy is in there. This is an import one from America, and I remember having the poster on my wall. So there's something about this film that it's not as good as the first one. Obviously, it's nowhere near as good as the first one. But there's something about the film that I love. I love the film, and Kurt Russell just oozes cool in it. And do you know what? I should be saying I've got it. It's a double. Get rid of it. But I'm not that strong because of the box. And that's so shallow. That is so shallow. I know that. But anyway. And then we have Escape from Absalom, or No Escape, with Ray Liotta, the late Ray Liotta. And after this film, I wanted to see him play the hero some more, and he never really got to do it. It was always villainous kind of roles he got. But you know, I quite enjoyed that film. Came out the same year as Fortress, or Roundabout, the Christopher Lambert one, which was far more sci-fi. There we go. Now here we have Escape Plan, with Arnie and Stallone teaming up properly for the first time, and it was a decent film. But it did lead to a couple of substandard sequels, and Dave Bautista. I like Dave Bautista, and I'll be honest, I've got both of them sequels, and I've not watched them. I need to watch them. I hear they're rubbish. E.T. the Extraterrestrial. Okay, this film is a goer because I have a steelbook and I have a 4K version, so there's absolutely no reason to keep that. Okay, the same could be said for Escape from LA. I know, call me shallow, whatever. And then Eureka, from Eureka Entertainment. And it's got a booklet in it as well, nice. And a reversible sleeve. And it is Enemy Mine, starring Dennis Quaid and Louis Gossett Jr. And again, a great film, a film I grew up on, a film that I'd watch regularly when it first came about. It's, I mean, the story's been told before. The very last episode of Battlestar Galactica, the original series, when it became Galactica 1980 or Galactica 80, was a flashback episode kind of thing that was set during the time of the original crew, and you had Dirk Benedict return as Starbuck, and it was this story with him. Obviously it was done years before this, 10 years before this or whatever, near enough, or 7 years, 6 years, and it's the same story, but Dirk Benedict trapped on a isolated planet with a Cylon, a lone Cylon, and him and the Cylon learn to become friends and work together, and it's a great episode about Battlestar Galactica, of that final series, and I recommend watching that if you can. But yeah, this is a good film. I do like it, and this is the extended cut of the movie. And then we have Everest, but I want to say that I do have Everest in 4K. Yes, it's in there. Okay, so what happened here is that I would have had the Blu-ray version. I've done this a couple of times, and I would have changed it CEX, you know what I'm saying, and kept the slip, because it's a nice silvery slip, and just gave them the film itself, and kept the slip and put my 4K into that slip, so that's why that is there. I was going to say, oh, I have that in 4K, I can get rid of that, but no. And then for some reason I have 2 copies of Salma Hayek in Everly, and I really don't know why. I honestly don't know why. So, I think I know why. I think I got this one at the time when I couldn't play Americans. This is region locked. Couldn't play American discs. So then I got the Australian one. For it. So obviously that one can go into that pile, and I just keep the one. Now, this film here, Ex Machina. I have a steelbook for it, so lovely steelbook too, lovely design. Then we have The Experiment. Adrian Brody, Forrest Whitaker. It's based upon a real experiment that was done where individuals were kept together but split into prisoners and guards in a social experiment. Only this takes it that much further. And it's a bloody good film. Adrian Brody's always good. Forrest Whitaker there. Another fantastic actor. And yeah, an enjoyable film. And then we have the Expendables trilogy. Well, it's a quadrilogy now, isn't it? And I don't have the 4th one. I went to see it at the cinema. Leo over at Geek Legion of Doom. He had entry into a preview, a press screening. He couldn't get up to London. He kindly gave me access for it. My name went down for it. I went to see this press screening of this film. And 4th one, it was bloody awful. Bloody awful film. There's no arguing that film isn't bad. Anyway, Expendables 1. Not as good as what it could have been. Expendables 2. I think the best of the franchise. Best the franchise has to offer. Expendables 3. Leaked early online, and I've only seen it that once. I should watch it again. Mel Gibson's in it. Mel Gibson's always good. There might be... It might, after the 4th one, that may elevate this one for me into something special. But I do feel that it is a franchise that has never ever, in all its four films, only the 2nd one got to it close, I feel, is a franchise that never lived up to the promise, up to its what it offered to you. But there we go. Anyway, from Arnie next, we have a Collateral Damage and Eraser. I don't mind the films, but they're from an era of Arnie films that I find to be very forgettable. Films like The Sixth Day, I find to be very forgettable. These are quite forgettable, but that's a good thing in a sense, because I can go back to them and watch them, and it's like almost like a first viewing each time, which ain't good that they're forgettable. And then we have Eraser Reborn. It's a German version, and you've got to take it on its own merits. I'm going to sneeze. You can't look at it really as a sequel to the first one or anything like that. It's got some dodgy CGI at the end, but I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it as a standalone film. I had fun whilst watching it, so I'll keep that. And then we have the movie Elf, and I have this on 4K. I have the special edition, Steelbook edition, that came out just this Christmas, just gone. So that's a goer, because it's a double. And then we have, what do we have next? We have Easy A with Emma Stone. Bought it for £1. Still yet to watch it, so I've got to give that a go. Oh, and then we have a bootleg of Enola Holmes. I do have a bootleg of the second one as well, somewhere. And I picked this film, I've still not watched it, and it's got to be rubbish, I know, but I picked it up because it's got such a fantastic lenticular. And it cost me £1. Extraterrestrial. The eyes blink, I think. Yeah. On the alien. I thought to myself, that's a really nice lenticular. I'm not going to let anyone else buy that. I'm going to have it for the collection. But there we go. I never got round to watching it. And here's a film that I adore. I love. Sylvester Stallone again. Escape to Victory. As soon as this came out on the HMV premium collection, loose disc inside, I had to get it because it's a great film. It really is. Max von Sydow is brilliant in it. Michael Caine, Michael Caine's just fabulous anyway. And it's a strong film. I love it. I don't think it gets spoke about enough. There we go. And we're at the end, but we've got a few more here. Then we have Bruce Almighty. A decent film. Yeah. Where did I get that from? Do you know what? Bruce Almighty, this was bought in CEX for £6. 30th of the 6th, 2023, so not a year ago, in Croydon. And it's actually an American edition, a US edition of the film. But it's a good film. It's a good film. Then we have Evan Almighty, the sequel. And do you know what? I like Steve Carell. And I never ever had issue with this film. I know a lot of people did, a lot of people have, and still continue to, but never did I have issue with this movie. I've always sat down, I've always enjoyed it. Then we have Erin Brockovich, Julia Roberts, fantastic in this. Aaron Eckhart is my introduction to Aaron Eckhart, this film was. And, what's his name? Albert Finney, the great Albert Finney, stars in this as well. He's in Big Fish, and I love Big Fish as well with him. But this is a fantastic film. Then we have a Gina Carano film, and I like Gina Carano and what she does. I don't think I've actually ever watched this one. I think it's still sealed inside. Extraction. Now, I'm expecting Bruce Willis. I'm expecting this to be a load of trash and to go into that pile that I won't watch it again. But yeah, I need to watch it. I need to watch these ones. And then I have this film here, and for the life of me, I cannot remember the title of the film because this is in German. Wait there. I have it on the back. No, it's in sometimes in the specs at the bottom they have the English title. And Liv Tyler, Jeremy Irons. What's the title of that film? Without me looking, I can't bother to go and look. But I'll be keeping that anyway. So there we go. So that's that shelf done. So that definitely I need to watch soon because I'm not sure on it. These are the ones going back on the shelf that were there. Eden Lake needs a watch. Chips I quite enjoyed. Change up from an era of films that we don't really get now, so I always like revisiting them. Click, I love the film. I can't deny that. Due Date needs a rewatch and a decision made on that. Daddy's Home 1 and 2, I like the first one. Second one is okay. Dictator, Sacha Baron Cohen's always fun. Commando is obviously Schwarzenegger. I'm going to put it with Collateral Damage there. Greystoke, The Legend of Tarzan, and Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. So we have there that shelf cleared. But I've still got a full shelf in a sense. Let's have a look. So I've still got a full shelf, but I've cleared all the top. Now the films that have cleared off of that shelf I have here. Let's see. I don't know how many, but it's that pile there, and that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 films. It's generally about the same amount per shelf. I'm coming in at about 13, 14 films per shelf, and that's just coincidence. That's not me counting along the way. So yeah, the only one that I've got to, I mean, the Tom Cruise 5 movie collection. Like I said, there's one film in there that I haven't seen, which is Days of Thunder. So I need to watch that and make a decision on this box set. It's probably, the easiest thing. This is me logically thinking now. If I went and got Days of Thunder individually, it's going to be exactly the same size case as this. So I'm going to be putting effort in and money in to get it. So would it be easier for me to just keep this for that one film? Because size-wise, space-wise, it'll make no difference whatsoever. So logically, that would be that reasoning. But there's the only way it would work for me is if I got a return on this and then Days of Thunder for next to nothing, if that makes sense. But the return would have to be worthwhile. It's not really worth it if it's 1, 2, 3 quid, so I will look at the thingy. So let's take that as. So I'll put that back on. I'm going to put that one back on the shelf momentarily because I need to watch it. But that leaves me with 13 films there that can most definitely join that pile. But anyway, so there we go. That's that culling of that shelf done. And next time we'll do the shelf below. I'm going to move that one up now. That's my Maverick box set. Like I said, Top Gun I've got in there now. I did have the lenticular steelbook, but I sold that when I got that big beast of a box set. And next we're going to hit this shelf down below, which is a bit more on it than what was on this shelf because the gap at the top is far more. And yeah, we'll hit that one and see how we get on there. Seriously, I don't know. Yeah, I can see a couple that can go, but I don't know how many. Anyway, sorry, I'm don't get into that yet. It's too much. It's too much to be hitting these all at the same time. It's overwhelming to be getting rid of stuff. Do you know what I mean? So I don't want it. It's easier one shelf at a time. It's like here, look, I mean, on this shelf I've got 2 copies of the movie Serenity. I've got I don't know why I'm going into this, but yeah, I've got 2 copies of Serenity on that shelf, so one of them can go when I get to that, obviously. Now which one of them 2 would you keep? I would keep that one. prefer the art. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm jumping weeks ahead because that's over in the S's, so we're not to that, nowhere near. So there we go, another episode done, dusted. I'm getting away, and let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. In 2 weeks' time, I will be back for another episode of this, so hit the subscribe button, come and join the channel. Why not turn your notifications on, maybe share the video. And like I said, when I've got through all these, and yes, it will be a little bit of time because every 2 weeks, I will document in a video all the films that I am getting rid of, the ones that I can trade in, etc. I will document as well. I've got to do a list and how much I get for them. I should really do that now as I'm doing this, because you know, if I wait, I could lose out. But yeah, and then the others I'll open up to people, and if anyone wants anything, and then if not, I'll probably give them to a library, put them back into the community, so to speak. That's another idea that came my way. I'm certainly not going to throw them in a bin. I can't do that. I don't want to give them to CEX. I don't want a penny for them, or 10 pence. It's kind of worthless for my time. And I don't want to give to a charity shop, because this stuff doesn't shift from a charity shop now, and they end up binning them anyway. So you know, if I'm going to give them to a charity shop, I might drop them in a bin myself, but I can't bring myself to drop them in a bin. Anyway, I'm going. That's that over. See you on the next one. Take care all, and goodbye.